Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I have a diamond in the rough for you guys to meet today. His name is Thomas Burke. He is a tight end at the College of New Jersey. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Jimmy?
Doing well. TCNJ, obviously, if people don't know about you guys, D3 school. Obviously, they're in New Jersey. Pretty successful, and you yourself being a pivotal cog in that machine in that offense, being all conference, all American, and really just putting together a solid resume for yourself. So, Tom, let's go ahead and I guess introduce you to the people. So, go ahead and tell us where you're from and start us out.
Hi, I'm Thomas Burke. I grew up in Northern Virginia, Fairfax County, Tyson's Corner. If you're from that area, you know where it is. Um, so I grew up there. Growing up, I played football, basketball, and lacrosse. Lacrosse is huge in that whole region in the DMV area. So playing lacrosse was a lot of fun. Playing bat hoops is also pretty big there. So my whole life I was just playing sports. I'm actually a Navy brat. So I spent the first half of my life actually living in San Diego. So I spent about 10 years living out there, then moved out to the DC area because my dad got relocated. I've had a mix of both worlds with the West Coast and the East Coast. So it's been a lot of
Gotcha.
fun.
Well, interesting. So, military family, have some lacrosse background and basketball background. Went to Marshall High School there in the Fairfax County area in Virginia. Let's talk about those early days in high school, if you don't mind. Again, playing multiple sports and then obviously also some football. What do you remember most about those days?
I just remember going from one sport to the other, going from football into basketball, from basketball into lacrosse, and then from lacrosse into AAU, and then it's 7-on-7, back into football. So it was hectic, but it was a lot of fun. Just being able to just travel, play sports, play club lacrosse, play AAU, 7-on-7s, all that. Just hanging out with my friends, meeting a bunch of people along the way, and just playing sports. There's nothing better than it.
Cool. Just an athlete that just goes from one sport to another to another. You're kind of used to that sort of vibe, and I guess now, I mean, obviously you're a football player. I don't think you've been, playing those sports there at your college, but of course, solidified yourself there as a tight end. I was just kind of curious though, with you playing some of these other sports, how would you compare maybe the preparation in some of those sports to football?
I think football is a whole other animal compared to those other sports. There's a much bigger emphasis on weightlifting and just putting on weight, getting as big as you can while still being able to move. Whereas with like lacrosse or basketball, you want to stay kind of lean, be able to shift and move. Not as much as in football, where you're just working on just a power output as opposed to endurance.
Gotcha. And of course, you chose to play football. I mean, did you have any offers to maybe do some of those other sports at the collegiate level or no?
No, I didn't really have any interest in those other sports.
Okay. Well, I mean, of course, tight end, you end up at TCNJ. How in the world did that happen? Talk me through like the recruiting process.
So going into my senior year, I wasn't really looked at a lot. So I was going to a lot of camps, just trying to get my name out there, trying to, find the right spot for me. And TCNJ actually had a huge mega camp where I think there was over 100 schools there, where they were just hosting recruits and having people come along. And at that camp, I met the tight ends coach. At the time, I was playing receiver in high school, but every school I went to was telling me, we're going to move you to tight end. You're going to have to learn how to play somehow. So I just met the tight ends coach at TCNJ and Rocky Hager, and we hit it off.
Cool. So, I guess everybody expected you to gain like 30 pounds or more. Is that kind of how that worked?
Yeah, at the time I was 6'4", 205. still kind of growing into my body, a little gangly, little skinny still, but just trying to learn how to move, trying to learn how to put on weight while still being able to move.
And what's your current height and weight these days?
Right now in the off season, I'm 6'5", 250, 255 ish. In season, I get down to around 247, 250.
Okay, well, I mean, certainly a very formidable size as a tight end, and so let's talk a little bit more about that. Uh, when we look at you as a guy who's about 6'5", 255, playing for TCNJ, how are they utilizing you out there?
I've been playing all over the place, honestly. My first few years, I was more of a receiver, and then this past year, they've utilized me more in the run game. I've had to add that to my game to really level up, and I feel like it's really helped. It's really helped open me up not only, or it's really helped open me up in the pass game, being able to be versatile. Play in the box. Um, it's harder for teams to, put me on a linebacker and then spread me out, put me on a safety. So that's really helped me.
I mean, certainly something that obviously you've literally grown into over the past few years. I mean, coming in as more or less a receiver, and now being a guy who is uh, 250 plus pound dude who can line up against one of those linebackers. So um, interesting. So again, had to put on nearly 50 pounds. Know that that doesn't come overnight. So how does that work, man? I mean, obviously you get to college and they say, hey, man, you gotta switch positions. Like, how does that I guess change happen?
I did a lot of talking with our strength and conditioning coach, and he knows a lot about just nutrition, how to put on the right kind of mass, the right kind of weight, how to build strength, and just lift heavy, do sprints. So you're not just getting big; you're being able to move at that weight. So that really helped, and a lot of PB&J sandwiches. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, if that's something that you love still, that's probably a good thing. But
Mhm.
definitely helps when you need to gain a little bit of weight there for sure. So let's continue talking about you as a prospect. Realize you do actually have another year of eligibility. And so I want to put you on the radar of some scouts now and really tell them what kind of a player you are. So, of course, growing up in Fairfax County, Virginia, when you were a little bit younger, who were you like the biggest fan of? I mean, when you think about maybe, who you would aspire to be like at the NFL level, like what would be that player for you?
As a kid, I was actually always a defensive end, a stand-up edge rusher, and I would always look up to Clay Matthews. I don't know, maybe it was his hair. I don't know what it is. I just always loved Clay Matthews. I always looked up to him. Um, I didn't really play a lot of tight end or receiver in youth ball. So I was always playing D end and stand up outside linebacker kind of. So it was always Clay Matthews and Lawrence Taylor. I would always watch a Lawrence Taylor highlight before every game.
I mean, definitely some good guys. I mean, at least, when you think about some of them, I mean, you think of the intensity they bring to the game at the very least. But then, of course, for you, you end up, being this tight end. So um, let's talk through a couple different things about you as a player, one of which being a receiver. So when you are a receiver out there for your offense, what's one of your favorite routes that you like to run for your quarterback?
Probably the Y cross, just a crosser, get under the Sam over the mic. Um, it allows me to get my big body in front of the QB, so like he can just hit me right up the middle. It allows me to read the safeties. If it's one high, I bend it. If it's too high, split it up the seam. Um, I've had a lot of success running that route, so I really like that one.
Nice. And then I guess on the flip side, again, being a blocker, being an inline guy who is, trying to set up holes for your running back to run through. Walk me through like maybe y'all's bread and butter there in the run game. Like what's something that you guys run a lot?
A lot of inside zone and split zone. We run a lot of that. I really like running split zone, just being able to get across the line. That DN doesn't see you coming, and you're able to just put your body
You
on
just
him.
come over and you're the motion man in that, right? So you're kind of like pounding that
Mhm.
guy and putting him in the dirt. So
Right.
that's obviously pretty cool. So um, looking at some of your stats, Thomas, these past couple seasons been really good for you as a tight end. Again, for a guy who's about 6'5", 255 pounds, I mean, when you have guys that are, getting upwards to like the 500 mark in receiving yards, is pretty good. Let's just be real. I mean, this past season, 485 yards, previously, 448 yards. And again, we talked about some of those accolades that you were able to put together as well. When you look at some of what you have been able to put together, man, what are you most proud of?
I'd say I'm most proud of just being able to make my game more versatile. If you look at my junior season 2 years ago, I was pretty much just a receiving tight end. I played a little in the run game, but if you look at my senior season this past season, I was able to really, just make an impact on every play, whether that be in the run game, out spread out, just even being like a decoy, just being a big body that takes the defense's mind off, other players so they can go out and shine.
Cool. And so let's go ahead and talk about perhaps one of your best highlights. I was looking back at this past season where you were actually able to really just kill Rowan with like 143 receiving yards. Definitely an awesome game. I don't know if that ranks amongst your best games for you personally, but talk me through some of your best personal highlights.
Yeah, that Rowan game definitely stands out. This past year when we went to Salisbury on their homecoming, being able to score 2 touchdowns all in the second quarter alone, that stands out, and just being able to, just really shift the momentum of that game. That those 2 games I'd say from this past season are ones that really stand out for me.
Awesome. Obviously, we also talked about the fact that you do have another year of eligibility left. Do plan on returning. What are your goals for next season?
Our main goal is to get a ring. This past year we lost to CNU for the conference championship at our own house, and that leaves a sour taste in your mouth. So we got a bunch of guys coming back. We have pretty much our whole offense coming back. So we're hungry and we're pissed. So we're just
That's
that's
good when you're hungry and pissed. Hopefully that helps get you guys over the hump and have something to really you know help you get that victory when you see those guys again. Let's give a shout out to some of those guys, man. You were talking about like that whole offense coming back. So who there at TCNJ do we need to know?
I'd say Trevor Bopp, our QB. He's about to set a bunch of school records. Malin Jasinski, he's another fifth-year senior receiver. He's our team captain. He's just been showing up for us in ways we just need him to. Ryan Gill, he was a sophomore who had his breakout season this past year. Um, he's been balling out, and Jason Schmidt, our running back, has been a real weapon for us.
Nice. Love giving those guys a little shout out. So, um, Thomas, what are you doing these days, man? I mean, obviously, season's done. And so, what's happening right now?
Lately, it's just been football, school, and I work on the weekends. I work at the GNC in town, so I get a lot of good deals on supplements. Helping me
Hey,
maintain my body.
that's kind of nice to be able to get that, have that job, get a little bit of a discount there for sure. So, um, you said you're obviously also in school. What are you doing, in school academically? What's your major?
Business management.
Cool. So, have you thought too much into, have you thought much into maybe what you would do after your football days are done? Like, what, you know, avenue you might find yourself in like maybe 10 years or more?
Yeah, I always saw myself in either sales or consulting. I don't really want to do the finance route because I don't know if I could handle sitting in front of a computer just looking at spreadsheets all day. I'd rather be like a consultant and you know um, be hands on with people.
Gotcha. I can definitely, I guess, feel that.
Yeah.
So, um,
My mom's an
cool. So,
accountant, so I've seen her. I've seen how she's an
okay.
accountant, so like I know how it is.
Okay. So, Thomas, I do want to get a chance to meet you off the field a little bit to see if perhaps there's more that you want to share with people, whether it be, hobbies, talents, passions, anything else that you want to share that might be interesting to some people.
Yeah. I've been getting into bowling. Tuesday nights is down the street. They have a college bowling night, so us and a bunch of guys on the team go and we bowl a few frames. It gets pretty competitive, as you can imagine, with a bunch of football players. And it's a good place to test out our touchdown celebrations. Whenever we get a strike.
You have a personal best right now, or is it where are you at in bowling?
I'm still getting good at it. About 130, 135. So not great, but just got to keep
Just
improving.
mediocre, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
It's a good thing you're a football player. So
Yeah.
130 is okay, for like a novice. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I think that I'm I'm like a little lower than that. Like normally, I average about 120 with a crap ton of gutter ball.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's kind of how that works. But let's see if there's anything else that we can get out of you again outside of football. So from the Fairfax area. So tell me a little bit about your hometown.
Yeah, so I live in Tyson's Corner. It's kind of like a metropolitan area right outside DC. Um it's got some high rises. It's kind of like a small city feel. It's a cool vibe where it's like small city and then right outside it's like suburban. So me and my friends we like to go into DC, just go to the museums, go look at the monuments and stuff if we have nothing to do. There's great hiking spots around us. It's good to get outside around there. So I'd say that's the mostly what I do when I'm back home.
Gotcha. I think for a guy like yourself who's kind of in this region, that DMV area, maybe I don't know. I'm spoiled a little bit with the ability to see some of these monuments and such. A lot of people come as tourists, and I've probably seen some of these spots like a million times.
Mhm.
So, do you have like a go-to though? I mean, downtown that you kind of have to go to, like a museum or what?
Yeah, the Washington and the reflecting pool, the Ape and the Lincoln Memorial, those are always a go-to. I'd say.
I, for me, I mean, I love the like the National History Museum. That's that's
Hmm.
that's a lot of fun. So.
Yeah.
Um, cool. Anything else? I mean, do you have any special talents or something that people need to know other than what you've shared already?
Special talents. Xbox. I'm good at COD. I guess. I haven't been playing as much. Especially I was playing a lot over winter break when I didn't have school, but yeah. Yep.
No, I get you. Obviously, you only have so much time these days, but
Hmm.
Thomas, once again, you have one more year under your belt to prove to some people that you deserve to be, given a shot at the professional level. So hopefully, this upcoming season, you'll get a chance to have a ton of scouts at your games, watching you, and hopefully, just diving into you and your tape and giving you that opportunity. So close us out with what you want to say to those people. So go ahead and give them your pitch and tell them what to expect next season.
You're gonna see just overall just completeness of my game that I haven't been able to really present. I have 300 days until the season starts, and I'm going to utilize every single one of those days to get better at my route running, get better hands, get better in the run game. I'm going to really refurbish my skills and hone them in, and just make sure I'm the best player I can be. I bring a level of discipline that may be harder to find at higher levels, because I've had to do it on my own. When it comes to diet, sleep, exercise, it's been something I've had to self motivate myself to do. So you wouldn't have to worry about that with me.
Gotcha. Well, Thomas, I do feel like you're going to have yourself a season next year. The funny thing now is maybe everyone's going to know about you, and so they're probably going to double team you. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see how everything comes together. Show me once again, man. You got yourself some big mitts. So I mean, people need to see like you got some big hands to work with as a
Right.
receiver. When you look at a prospect like yourself, we talked about the fact that you are a complete tight end. You're working to be a complete tight end, and you're continuing to get better and better. So, about 6'5", 250 pounds, ready to get after it next season. Thomas, want to wish you very best of luck right now. Okay.
Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
No problem. Once again, we have Thomas Burke, tight end out of the College of New Jersey. Check this guy out next season.
Have a good one.